Hi and welcome to the Business Made Easy Blab Show. I'm your host Fiona Hall, and below me today is Liz Fry from lizfry.com. And we are about finding ways to make business easy, because business should be fun and it should be easy, and you should have more freedom to do the stuff you really love to do in your business. So we came together at the beginning of this year and we discovered we had one word in common that we wanted to have more of in our lives this year, and that was the word freedom. And we also love meeting people, we love connecting with people, and we both love learning. So I had this brilliant idea for a show, and I wanted a co-host. I wanted someone to hang out with regularly who had a different perspective and a different set of skills than me that we could have a really cool show with. And the guests we have on are experts in their specific area and stuff we can learn and we can share with our audience, because we think sharing is caring. We like to share knowledge around, and if we can help other people make their lives easier, then we feel great about ourselves, and that's part of who we are as people. So that's what we're about. So each week at 10 a.m. NZ time, we have a specific guest come on, and this week we have the gorgeous Sarah McMurray from Relating to Money. We've got that scary topic, money, and most of us, I don't know about you, but I had this kind of, I really need to look at this, but I don't really want to feeling when I knew I wanted to be on. I know there's so many women I've spoken to who are in business, and probably a few men, who have this challenge around money. So what a great topic for us to actually address and talk about and no longer hide, not discuss, which I'm sure Sarah is very passionate about that. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So in the meantime, if you would like to join, if you haven't already, we have our own Facebook community page for all of our Business Made Easy peoples, and I will just pop that link in here for everybody who would like it. And that's a private group. Each day I post something to get you thinking about your business. I have video tips. I have each day there's a hashtag during the weekdays, Monday to Friday, so you can jump on and learn some cool stuff. You also get access to our guests afterwards if you want to ask more questions. So it's a great little community. It's a small community which we're growing for people who really want to find ways to make business easy. So pop on over if you'd like to and jump on. And now I'm going to get into the next segment, which is our nugget. So I'm going to talk about my nugget today. So as I said before, I'm Fiona Hall, and I run a business in Auckland, New Zealand called Kiffin. And I have just been rebranding recently. So my business name and my idea of how I do business is swapped. And it's Fiona Hall with Kiffin Products. So that's how it's kind of going to roll out. And I've been working with the fabulous Christine Sheehy to get my messaging right. But basically I work with overwhelmed business owners who are in that stage of business where they're growing their business, they're growing a team, and they're finding it really hard to figure out how to make sure that team do a great job for their customers and know what they need to do, when they need to do it, and how they need to do it. I'm fantastic at getting structure for that set up, but also capturing the knowledge into manuals, into systems, into templates, so it's really easy for you to hand over with confidence, and so you can take a holiday or get back to doing more of the stuff that you really love to do in your business. So that's what I'm about. So time saver tips, because I love finding the simple ways to do things. So I wanted to give you some ideas of things that I do each day, and this is stuff I've picked up from reading great books, articles, going to events and listening to fantastic speakers, watching numerous TED Talks. And these are my favorite tips which make a difference in my life that I think some of you might find useful too. So when I need to do some deep thinking tasks, I shut off my computer, all my distractions, and I go and do some writing. And I think about what's that question I'm thinking about, and I get a pen and paper or some felts and actually draw it or doodle and come out with, write that question down for myself and then answer that question. And I found that a really powerful exercise to be away from technology. I'm lucky I've got a really nice table outside on my deck, and I can sit there under the trees and listen to the birds and just think about it. In the process of writing for me, I find is a lot quicker for me to come up with the answers. So take yourself away from distractions, write the question out and see what comes up. I also, when I'm working on large projects, sometimes I'm sitting on my butt for long periods of time, as many of us do these days, because computers are how we make money, how we do business, right? So I will make sure I always put in little mini breaks throughout the day. I will often, if I know I'm going to be at home all day working in my office on a project, I will make myself an appointment to call someone, Skype someone, and actually go and sit outside, or go for a walk around the block, or even hang the washing out, anything to get me out of my desk and away from that project, just to give myself a mental break, a mental check-in. So I actually schedule that in for myself. Otherwise, I know I'll just sit there for a long period of time and I'll have a really aching back. You know, just know what your body needs and listen to it and make allowances for it. We're all probably different. So just check in with yourself. When do you start to feel that ache and that twinge? Get up and notice for yourself. Notice the patterns. Notice what you need. I also, I'm a reformed overscheduler, recovering overcommitter. And what I noticed was that I would make these massive long task lists for myself. And I wouldn't do them all. I might do other stuff off that list, but I've never finished that whole list. And then I would feel like a failure. And I know I'm not the only one, because I've had this conversation with numerous people. So I only give myself 3 core tasks each day, which some people I know will be freaking out going, but I've got so much to do. Yeah, you do, but there's usually 3 core things. If you don't get done, will be a real problem for you the following day. So 3 core tasks. Anything else is a bonus, and I pat myself on the back for. And the thing is, I always do more than the 3, usually, unless it's a big piece of client work where I'm spending quite a few hours on it. But what happens is that when I do the other stuff, I feel so good about myself. I feel so motivated and reconnected to my business and my clients. So what are those big 3 tasks that you need to do each day? So also my daily kind of success ritual starts the night before. I do a bit of a download. I look at my schedule for the next day. Like, do I have to, what trips do I have? What have I got going on? Looking at the schedule for the next day, just to kind of get myself, my mind and who I'm going to be connecting with, what I need to be doing. Do I need to send an email saying, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow? Do I need to recollect and reconfirm those meetings? I don't know about you, but I've been in the car quarter of the way to meet someone, and I get a text or I get a phone call. A text I don't answer, but a phone call or something saying, oh, I can't make our meeting now. They might have known the night before, but they haven't kind of got round to doing it. Whereas if you connect with them, anybody else been in that? Yeah. Isn't it annoying? Yeah. So I lead that now and make sure I confirm that those appointments are going to be going ahead. And also that process of just reviewing what's happening the next day just gets myself into that mindset of what do I need to be doing. It often prompts really great ideas for a client. I think, oh, I'm meeting with that person. Actually, while my brain's free, I can think, well, that article will be really good to send them, or there'll be something I can contribute to them before I meet them. So the engagement with my clients, the value I add to my clients is always upped by thinking about the day before and at the end of the day, planning in for the next. I cross off the tasks. I do use one of these planners. And I cross off the tasks each day. There's nothing quite like putting a line through something. I have other tools and stuff online, but there's actual physical crossing things off. So it's something really satisfying about putting a line through something or ticking it off and knowing you've done it. I also save all my documents. Obviously, that's got an auto save on them. And then I also enter my billable hours. So I make sure at the end of the day, I just check in, because that's the way I do sell some products. But if I'm doing service-based work or I've got hours, I make sure I close off the end of the day. So I know how many hours I've billed. So that's my top tips, time saver tips, just to make sure you keep on top of stuff and you close off each day feeling like I've nailed what I needed to do. Because I'm sure that Sarah would like the money thing that I just referred to at the end here. Keeping track of what your money situation is really important. So that's me, Fiona Hall from Kiffin. I'm going to hand over to the fantastic Liz Fry, the connector, the woman who's all about health and connection, Liz Fry.
Thanks, Fiona. Yes, I've got a little story today. So, yeah, I'm, as Fiona says, Liz Fry of lizfry.com. And, yeah, my real passion is about people and business owners in particular, and connecting them and really seeing how they can help them shine their light and get their message and purpose out to the world. And so this morning I was out walking at 7 o'clock with my friend, and we went down to the beach, and it was just stunning. Like, sea was just a mill pond. We actually saw fish jumping, the dogs were playing, everyone was saying good morning. It was just beautiful, and the sun was coming up. By the time we'd walked back up the hill and I'd got my breath back, looked out the window, and there was fog, like this Auckland fog. I couldn't see, barely, like 50 meters kind of thing. And it just really made me think, as business owners, you know, how often do we go through that? We can think we're on the right direction. We can think we're on the right path. We can, you know, think that this is exactly where we should be going. And then suddenly this cloud of fog comes around us and we haven't got a clue. And it might be like a cloud of fear. It might be money. It might be, just overwhelm, lack of clarity, whatever it is. But it can just suddenly come down on us as quick as a cloud of fog. And I guess it's just reminding us that does happen, and it is normal, and it does happen to everybody, I would have thought. Again, just being connected with the right people that you can reach out to when those moments happen. And it's not a weakness, it's just identifying it and, again, connecting with yourself and knowing that that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm. So, great point, Liz. It's like having that tribe is so important, right?
Yeah.
Such a good point. Well, I'm going to move into our next section where I'm going to introduce our fabulous guest, Sarah McMurray from Relating to Money. So I met Sarah a couple of years ago now through a networking group we're in. And I was so impressed with the way that she spoke about money, and she was honest, and she's the first person I'd kind of met who actually admitted to being in a place where she'd been overspending and not paying attention to it. And I was like, oh my God, someone's admitting that? Thank God. I can relate to it. It was such a breath of fresh air, because it's a topic that's kind of taboo, really, and a lot of people don't talk about it. It's hidden. And it's one of the biggest stresses in relationships, whether it's a personal relationship or business. Mm-hmm. So it's something that needs addressing. It needs our beliefs and our actions and our thoughts around money need to be looked at and investigated, but deeper. So I invited Sarah on because I know that money, for business owners, money mindset is a huge one. It stops us from asking for the sale, from chasing up people who owe us money. Mm-hmm. You know, all of that stuff starts from the way we think about it, right? How we relate to money. So that's the name of your business, Relating to Money, and it really aptly describes what we need to talk about today. So Sarah has gotten herself out of the debt cycle, and now she teaches others how to plan spend. Mm-hmm. So I met Sarah through a networking group, as I mentioned, and what she's talked about on her About page, which I went researching, which is what I do, Sarah, is that she said money has brought up complicated feelings for her. And she wanted, like all of us, to have lovely things to buy and spend and have those nice things that we want to, you know, go out for dinners and have nice shoes and all those things that we want to have, and beautiful clothes, all that kind of thing. She wanted to have those stuff, but she didn't want to pay too much attention to the money that she needed to buy and how that money was going in and coming out. She just wanted to have enough money to do what she wanted to do. And she hated opening those credit card bills and seeing that jaw-dropping total. And then going, yes, I bought those things, but surely I hadn't spent, it didn't add up to that amount of money, did it? It hadn't been that much money. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a few people out there nodding, having had that experience. And she came to a point in her life, she was determined to get that part of her life sorted out. So she slashed her spending and painfully paid back that debt, and only to find herself a few months down the track in the same situation with that credit card bill. And it didn't make sense to her. And she, you know, she's not a naive kind of person. If you meet her, she's a very straight talking, very sensible kind of woman. And she, you know, she'd worked as a teacher and she'd worked in the business world. She had some systems and structure around her, yay. And she was earning good money too, you know. But what she did is she went and read a book called Financial Recovery by a woman called Karen McCall. And she worked through her financial recovery program and discovered about developing a healthy relationship with money. And that's what's made the difference for her. So she now feels calm and centered around money. It's no longer, oh, shit, there's that bill from the credit card company. There's no longer the dread of opening it because she's quite aware of what she has spent and there's not that stress, that strain that there was. Yes. So, she's now trained as a financial recovery expert through Karen McCall's program. So she's got all those tools that she learnt herself, and now she's qualified to sit there and support and coach other people who are in that same situation to get them to have a calm and centered relationship with money. So, Sarah, welcome to your first and to the Business Made Easy show. Tell us about you and your business.
Well, I think you gave a really good summary. I used to be so ashamed about how my money situation looked, so I didn't want to look at it because it felt like it should be better. I earned a reasonable amount of money, and I didn't think I was being horribly buying rubbish, but I would end with no money, or I would end up with a credit card bill that I couldn't pay off all at once. And then when I did look at it, I would become angry with myself and really tighten the belt, and I would have to wipe out my savings. And so therefore I'd be like, right, well, now I'm going to save 70% of what I earn. And, you know, I couldn't keep up with that. Surprise, surprise. And around it went again. And it was trying to sort out, you know, I've got qualifications. I'm able to stay friends with people for years and years and years. Why is, you know, it was embarrassing that I had no savings. And whenever you read anything about money, it's all very lemon-lipped stuff about how you should. And if you're contributing to KiwiSaver, you're probably not contributing enough. And it's very, you know, you people. Yeah, it's very much, you know, you people need to sort your life out. You need to stop buying the things that you want. You need to save more. It's all about shame. And so reading Karen's book was a breath of fresh air because she's got an amazing story about how she got herself out of her money situation. But she said in trying to find help, it was all about the numbers. You've got to make the numbers look pretty. And if you're in debt, then the most important thing is that you pay the debtors back and you have no needs. There's only $2.50 left over every week, and that's all there is to spend, and you're just going to have to deal with that. And, you know, like me, she found she couldn't do it. So she invented her own program where it was, I still need to look after me. And I need to make the numbers look pretty. And finding a way to do both and to honor her own needs and wants. And it was then, through doing that, she was then able to stop spending impulsively. And she was in a place where she's able to earn more money because her needs and wants are being taken care of. So it was developing that and then following her program and then training and then finding, to my surprise, because the book doesn't really cover this, that actually a lot of what she talks about for personal use applies in a business sense.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because with a business, people talk about business as if we're all completely rational. And every decision you make, but this is because, for yourself, you might go out and go, oh, those are pretty shoes and I just want them. I see them and I love them and I want them and I just buy them. But with your business, you're just completely rational and you go, no, I will buy this because it is the best value for money. And the thing is, when people ask the reasons, why did you decide to work with Fiona? Or why did you decide to work with Liz? People come up with a completely rational description. Oh, she offered exactly what it was that I wanted. But probably people decide to work with you mostly because they meet you and they like you.
Yeah. That's really sweet.
And so we're actually far more emotional about our businesses and our business decisions than we're actually allowed to talk about.
Yeah, I think that's really true.
Very important. Very important message, Sarah. That I look at my spending patterns and who I've chosen to work with. They're not always the cheapest.
No, but if someone that you'd chosen not to work with asked you why, most people are likely to come up with a very rational sounding reason for their business.
And it would be they'd probably say, oh, it was too expensive, or it was,
yes,
I got more value from this. So they'd probably use money as a justifier, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So what I found by sorting out my money is, instead of it becoming as this thing full of shame, it's now a feeling of kind of that being centered, that calmness. Bills come in and I know that they're coming in and I know how much they're for. It's not that, oh, crap, that renewal is up and, I'd forgotten and, oh my God, it's more than I thought. I go, oh, it's May, my WordPress site is due to renew.
Yeah.
I knew that. It's coming in. It's not a shock. So all that stuff, it's all there. And also, because I've planned it out, it becomes not only I knew that it was coming, but I want to spend that money.
Oh, how does that feel?
So it's not just, oh, yay, look at my savings account. I'm doing what the people, all the money people tell me. It's also about, you have to spend money.
Yeah.
And becoming really, like, on a personal level, it's like paying the bills. Well, yeah, I want the electricity to work at my house. I don't want to come home and go, oh my God, will the power work or not? So, and that's it's in line with my values. But, I don't want to waste the money. I don't want to pay more than I have to.
Yeah.
But it's not just about living as frugally as possible and only ever secondhand clothes and turning off the heating and, trying to read a book by streetlight. It is not about living like that. It's about being really mindful and deliberate about your spending, right from kind of the boring stuff that everyone has to pay for and, Ray, pay the power bill, how exciting. But it's also about, this is what I want to spend, the fun stuff that I want to spend my money on. And really taking care of those needs that I feel. And then looking at other things that I could spend my money on that I used to, and going, it's not that I now have willpower of iron and I can resist. I really don't want it. Yeah.
So you talked briefly about a spending plan.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about that. Like how tell me that, like, if you were thinking about places where say people listening in are challenged around money,
Mm-hmm.
and have some of that stuff that you remember back to, how it was for you with money, that money was something that was a bit of a surprise when the bill came in. Do you now obviously have a spending plan? Like you have a sales target and then a spending plan, I imagine? Tell me about how you structure things.
With the money, I start with the expense side.
Yeah.
And I get really detailed.
Yep.
Because vagueness is the enemy.
Yeah.
So if you sit there and go, oh, well, I know I have to pay for my phone and, like most people could list off their regular bills.
Yes.
But then if they're sitting there going, oh, and I did buy a subscription to this software, and but I'm not sure how much that will be due, and I'm not sure when that's coming up, but that's there as well. And, there will be an ACC obligation, but I don't know how much that's going to be. Your mind, like you can kind of kid yourself that you're not worrying about it, but part of your brain is going worry, worry, worry. And it's, I will talk about it, it's like feng shui for your mind. It's like tidy it up.
Yeah.
Get it down on paper. You don't know how much that ACC obligation is going to be. Figure it out. Come up with either an estimate that you're confident is fairly close, or actually, log into the website and type in the details and find out. Get your accountant to tell you. Put it all down. Don't be sitting there looking at a list of expenses and going, oh, but I'm this year there's going to be a bigger expense for, I don't know, I'm running a workshop and I'm going to need to advertise it and I don't know how much that will cost. So this isn't quite a full list of expenses. It's like, come up with a number that you're looking at going, even if you're going, okay, $500, I'm not sure how that's going to be split out, but that is what I'm going to spend. Or budget, put it down there so that you're looking at a number, the final number that you're looking at. Your brain doesn't have to go, oh, and don't forget, there's also something else. Yeah. You want it all down there and you want realistic amounts. You don't want, to be, oh, I'm going to spend $50,000 on my workshop. You want an amount that you go, no, that feels about, that's what I'm going to have to spend. There's going to be flyers, there's going to be Facebook ads, there's going to be, and you've got a good estimate of what those will cost. Yeah. So you've got it all down, and you've got, it's things like we met through a networking group. Well, I used to just have, this is what it costs to belong to the networking group. But you meet people in cafes, there's this constant little niggly eating away cost for cups of coffee and tea. $10 here, $10 there. Put it in. It's not just that you're going to be going to a meeting.
Coffee budget per week, right?
You do. Because then the thing is, if you don't, you go along and you're like, oh, well, I feel awkward being in the cafe, or I really want something. And you go, oh, no, I'll get it anyway. And there's this kind of I'll figure it out. I'll add it in. Oh, it won't matter. I'll earn enough. It's only $4.50. All these justifications. If you've said it's going to cost me $10 a week roughly to meet people for networking, and you go to meet someone at a cafe and it's like, I do want a cup of tea or a coffee. You just buy it, and you know that you have allowed yourself $500 over the year to be buying food and drink in a cafe. And like I say, it's just calmness. It's like, yes, I knew this was a cost of doing business, and I've put it in there, and I know I've got the money to pay for it. I don't have you don't have to feel tense about it.
Yeah.
From a personal aspect, do you think that applies to like personal finance in terms of having sort of a fun budget or a guilt-free budget or...
Yeah, we talk about in terms of figuring out what your personal needs and wants are, and we define those a bit differently because most budgeting people tend to be, it's a need if you'll die without it, and anything else is a want. And we're like, well, that's a little bit strict.
Yeah, if I can never leave my house because I can't afford to put petrol in the car, then it is,
yes.
I would die from lack of social interaction.
Karen's got a lovely way of figuring it out. She says, a need when met sustains you. A want when met entertains you. So in my work with people, I don't ever tell them, for example, the classic one is always coffee at a cafe. No, you shouldn't be doing that because what a waste of money. And if you saved it, and never bought coffee at a cafe, when you retired, you could have $100,000 in the bank.
And no friends.
and no friends, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would sit there and like someone might say, oh, yes, I need, let's say $100 a month to go to a cafe. And then they do the spending plan. And what do you know? They're spending too much money. And we look at it and go, what is it about going to a cafe and meeting your friends? Now, for me, partly it is the coffee. I do love my coffees. I adore that I became an adult at a time when coffee culture took off in New Zealand. And if you said to me, no more coffee, honestly, I would just sit in the corner with tears running down my face. It's like, and to go and meet someone in a cafe and just think, I'll just have water, thanks.
I call it the mater.
Yes. Yes.
The violin comes out.
So I was like, no, I'm having coffee. And then I looked and I was spending a lot more than I planned. So I was like, well, what's happening? And I found a couple of things. I was falling into a habit when I was taking my kids places where I didn't need to do that. But also I had fallen into a habit of every time I went to a cafe, I was ordering something out of the cabinet as well. Now, I can tell you, good coffee there, bad coffee there. Let's meet there, not there, because good barista here, terrible barista over here. I could not tell you anything about anything I've ever ordered out of a cabinet. I could not, the muffins here are divine. Or, oh my God, the chocolate brownie is amazing. For me, the food that comes out of the cabinet, it's nothing. I don't even notice it. So then by looking at my money, I was able to go, well, what I need is, like Liz said, the friendship or the meeting up with someone. And I do enjoy the coffee, or I have a green tea, and yeah, I feel so grown up. But I personally don't need the thing that comes out of the cabinet. Now, someone else might be completely different. They might be, you know what, I never even noticed the coffee. I need the companionship. They might decide with a friend that they're going to meet their friend and go for a walk in the park rather than meet at a cafe.
Yeah.
They might be, you know what, they've ordered something. I'm completely fine just getting water. I don't feel bad about that at all. That's what they want to do. Someone else might be, I don't notice the coffee. I really love the thing that comes out of the cabinet. That's what, so it's finding what it is for you that meets that need and figuring out how can I meet that need for less money.
Yeah.
But let's not just ignore the need. Let's not do, like you said, the martyr thing. So you come up with your plan, you put it all in, the details. And then even with your business, you need to think about what are the needs and wants of your business as a business, and what are your needs and wants as a person who works in the business.
So imagine like giving your top salesperson an entertainment budget.
Well, there's
for coffees out networking.
Yes. Yeah. So you've been realistic about, well, this is what it costs. This is how I do business. This is what it costs. But the business will have needs and wants. I was looking at one of your blabs earlier with cash flow, and they talked about saving for a computer.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, see, there are certain things that your business just needs.
Mm.
And there are also things that your business might want. Like it might be, yeah, I need a computer, but I want a really flash one, or, I want an Apple, or I want the newest phone. But there's also you in the business, and especially when people have their own business, they kind of it's their business. But if they were an employee, they could sue themselves for the way they treat themselves. They're sitting at a computer like this at the kitchen table because that's all they've got, and it's uncomfortable and it hurts. It's a new business and they don't want to charge too much. So you know what? There's no sick leave.
That's right.
You can't be going on holiday, or if you do go on holiday, you personally don't get paid. So your family suffers.
Yes. So
you need to sit and also think about when you're doing that spending plan. It's fine. You put down all the stuff. You know that you're paying for MailChimp and you're paying for your Facebook ads. You've got all those in there. But it's like, what does the business need? Now, I've worked with people who are like, I always have to park 10 minutes down the road because I'm embarrassed about my car.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And it's like, one of their things. Other people are like, I don't notice other people's cars. Again, it's what I'm talking about. It's personal to them. I've had people go, we have to put on a new tablet because I dropped mine and the screen is broken, and I use it to show clients this is how it will work when we set it up, this wonderful thing, social media thing for you. And I'm embarrassed. The screen is cracked.
I can relate to that. I would be the same.
Yeah. So, whereas other people are like, yeah, that happens. The screen gets cracked. I'll replace it at some point. So what I'm talking about is what it is that matters to you. And it might be things that other people might pass off as, oh, that's not important. Like the clothes that you can wear when you go to a meeting with a potential client, and feeling like you convey the message that you want to convey. So there's personal and business overlap in those things, because you need to look at how much do I need to earn, therefore how much does the business need to pay me, and put those things in. Because if you don't pay attention, then you deprive yourself, and that then leads to overreaction, kind of like, I deserve it. I am going, like you're sitting at your table and you have to do all of this work, and you get, you're in pain. You get sore. And then you're out and you see something that you want, and you know what? The business can pay for it. Because, personal to you, this thing that you want to buy, but you work damn hard for that business and it doesn't pay you, and you feel like, you need to stand up and almost say to yourself, look, I matter, and pay attention to me. And so it becomes a reaction rather than that you're being proactive and going, yes, I knew I wanted that and I planned it. It becomes a, no, I rebel.
So it's what you're saying then is like you have your spending plan, but you, on top of that, you need to be really clear about what your values are and what's important to you, so you can put that spending plan together.
As part of your spending plan. As part, you put in the things like you need the new computer,
It's me.
You put in the things like, I would really love to be able to buy a better car than the one I've got now. You put it all in because the question is, if you were living the life you have today with ease, how much would you spend in each category?
That's a good question.
So it's like, well, if the business had $100,000 in the bank, I would go out tomorrow and spend $5,000 on a new computer. And so it helps you kind of get to, it really helps you get to, actually, this is what is important. And I also encourage people with their business expenses to sit and go, okay, the new computer, imagine that you've got it, how would it feel? Because sometimes we tell ourselves we need a new computer, we need a new car, and they're sitting there going, actually, I don't think I need a new one. I think I just need to get this one defragged and take off the programs that are making it run slow. And
yeah.
But when you're sitting there going, oh, God, if I had a new computer, I wouldn't be anxious that it's going to freeze up every time I Skype someone.
That's
God, that would feel amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, we have found something that you need.
And
this is when when people don't want to look at it because now it gets scary.
And that's why when I bought my car a couple of years ago, because my car kept breaking down. It seemed to be just continuously like ciphering money. Like it's like $1,000, $500, $1,000, $800, and it's just like I seem to be throwing money at it like every couple of months, and it was really frustrating. And then I got my new car, and it's just been so reliable. Touch wood, It's not a brand new car, but it was one of the newest ones I've ever owned. But that relief of having something reliable, the stress that took from my life was amazing.
Yes, absolutely. So,
Sarah,
sorry, Liz, go ahead.
No, you go on.
No, I was just going to. You don't often realise till it's over how there was kind of this black cloud hanging over you, because I've done that with the car.
Yeah,
that's all the time. Yeah. You're going somewhere, going, it'll probably be all right. Don't break down. Oh, thank God it didn't break down. And how different it is just to assume that you will get where you're going.
I know. It's a massive relief, isn't it?
Yes.
Especially when you've got to pick up kids from somewhere and your whole life is like, oh, I've got to be here and I've got to be here and I've got to be here. And that,
Yes. Yeah. So getting that thing sorted and anything like, if I could just replace the screen on my tablet, then, I wouldn't feel ashamed I wouldn't have to apologize for it every time I pulled it out in front of a client. Or feel like I had to try and hide it from them, or
well, if your business is showing amazing images and graphics, and you've got a cracked screen just to show it through, I imagine it would kind of be against the values and what you stand for. Really, it would be really hard.
Yes.
Like in terms of a values match, it's all that values match, isn't it?
Yeah, and congruency and
Yes. So it's about, sitting there planning it out and, getting really deliberate and yes, this would feel really good to spend the money there. And you know what? It's training and I'd love to do that. That would feel nice, but I don't feel that same sense of relief. So, when you evaluate and put it in the plan, you become really clear about what is actually, this feeds me, it sustains me. And the things that you're like, I would love to do that. That sounds really interesting, but I don't kind of have that feeling of being fed when I think about it. It's just, look, I'm going to put that on the list for later, but not this year. It's a nice to have. Yeah. I'm going to reinvestigate that next year. This year, the computer. Next year, training. Because you've asked the question, if I was living with ease, you have probably put in more money than you're earning.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's really scary because quite often, especially people with their own business, like I say, they're not paying themselves sick leave. They're not paying themselves holiday leave. They've got inadequate workstations. And, if they had an employee, it would be like, well, you need to buy a chair that doesn't wobble and fall over, So they've put that down, and suddenly they're seeing really what it would need to run their business, because they are no longer personally paying instead of the business. So, and I mean that both, it's not their personal money, and it's not that they are putting up with something inadequate anymore. And it's quite a scary figure. And this is usually where it's sort of like hand holding and take a deep breath. None of this, it's still just a plan. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And you've got it all down, and the third part of your plan, which is almost impossible, especially when you start out, is estimating how much you're going to earn. And that is a prime reason why people go, well, I would love to do all this, but really, what is the point? Because I've got no idea what I'm invoicing. So if you've got no idea what you'll be invoicing, it's like all the more reason to do a plan. You do your spending plan, and then you've got to guesstimate. And then you ask yourself two questions. What is the percentage? Okay, I've put in, I'm going to invoice $5,000 a month. What percentage chance do I put actually on that happening?
Yeah.
And then the second question is, and so is there anything I can do to increase that percentage? Which could be things that we all hate doing, like saying, that invoice that I sent you 2 months ago, just wondering if I could be paid. Just pay me. I don't want to have to point out that you have to pay me. I
love the templates I've got set up in Xero around that.
Yeah.
I've got the follow-up ones.
Do you ring?
I've got templates. It's really interesting. When I send my second one, I pretty much get paid.
Yeah.
So it must be the wording.
It's the wording. I mean, my parents have a business, manufacturing business, and it's my mum's job to ring and ask for the money. And she found, she used to hate it.
Yeah.
It used to be her, you eat a frog.
Yeah.
If she didn't do it first thing in the morning, it didn't get done.
Yeah.
But honestly, 90% of the phone calls are simply, oh, right, could I have a copy of that invoice, please? And the money gets paid. So there is no conflict. It's just simply procedural.
Yeah, so the systems aren't very good at the other end. That's the problem. You're just reminding them.
Yes. Yep. And, you just ring them up and make the phone call and chase it up. And it's not. So, you look at it and go, oh, there's these things that I could do. Like I could ring about that outstanding quote. I could ring and ask, recontact my previous clients, make contact with them and maybe prompt them to do business with me again. So you see, by putting it all down and looking at it and going, well, I think I'm going to invoice $5,000 this month because I'm being really hopeful, and really what percentage chance, you can immediately in your conscious mind start deciding, well, there are these obvious things that I could do.
Yeah, great.
To do it. So that starts almost straight away.
Yeah.
But the real magic starts to happen the next day, because you have feng shuied your mind. Everything's clean and tidy. It's all down there. Your mind's going, and don't forget, there's going to be a tax bill this year. We don't know how much it will be. You've guesstimated that is down there. And now your brain is free. People wake up, oh, that's right, I talked to such and such about doing a workshop 6 months ago. Maybe I could, now that your brain isn't worrying, it's ready to be creative.
Yeah.
And people just switch on to, wow, there's a $7,000 gap between what I think I need my business to earn this year and what I think it is going to earn. And that $7,000 gap, that's not a made-up amount of money. That is what I've said I need, because I need the new computer. And, my family needs me to still get paid, even though we're going on holiday for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's an actual need, and it's now down there. It is terrifying to look at first up, because that number is always worse than people think it will be. It's like the Visa bill. I know I spent all this money, but it doesn't add to this. The spending plan is, I said I wanted to spend all this. This is a combination of what I am already spending and what I really feel I need to spend. There's a gap. There's always a gap.
Yeah.
Because otherwise people are like, I've got this great business and there's, $50,000 in the check account and $100,000 in the on-call account and I just don't know what to do with it. Those people tend not to be my clients. I've never met anyone like that.
Well, they can shout me a coffee if they
I
like.
just have all this money and I really don't know how. But, no, there's always a gap. But once it's all down and you've really thought about it and I actually need this, now your brain is free and you see those opportunities, you remember those things, you start creating, you're like, I need to get out there more and promote myself more. And you just do. Because you're free.
Yeah.
All that worry is kind of down on the paper.
No longer the ostrich with the head buried in the sand.
Yes. Yep. All the drawers in your brain are all tidy. And if you're sitting there going, how much did I think I need for a new computer? You can look at it again. And yep, I looked it up online. That's the model I want. That's how much it costs. And that's what I see with people's personal money and with their business time and time again, that once they actually have the bravery to face up to it and to plan it out, get really mindful, this is what, for me, it would really matter to spend my money on this thing. Look at this, I don't have enough money. Suddenly their eyes become opened to what opportunities they really have.
Yeah.
And the money comes. And when it comes, it doesn't just come in and get frittered, because it's like, yay, I got that new client. I am not going to go and buy myself some bonus celebration thing. That money is buying my computer. That's what I needed, and it's, and again, it's not willpower of iron. It's not, I don't want some fabulous celebration thing. It's like, hey, celebration for me, I'm just going to have a glass of wine with my bestie. And, I want to acknowledge my success, but the money, I'm getting my new computer.
That's fantastic, Sarah. I mean, looking at your obviously the way your business name aptly describes, what you do relating to money.
Yeah.
Having a spending plan, getting honest with it, what you actually, pulling out all those receipts and being honest with yourself of what you actually need to spend to run your business, and knowing what that figure is every single month, when those big bills are coming in and when you have to pay them. But then getting clear about your values and not feeling like you have to fit into this cookie cutter mold of I should do this. And
absolutely.
And I love that shift, because a lot of the stuff I have read has been shoulding, and that just feels ick and bad and wrong.
What they say in recovery, don't they?
What's that?
You know that in recovery?
No.
They say should is shit.
Yes, exactly.
And they'll say, are you shoulding all over me?
Yes. I use that a lot. As soon as I hear myself say the word should either in my head or out loud, I'm like, whoa, what am I doing?
Yeah.
That's my check-in point for myself now. It's important to have that. And I love how you also talked about, so the spending plan, the values, but also thinking about like going in and thinking about how you feel when you do buy that thing that you think you want. So you really do start to check in about what it is, because you've got your values. But sometimes I think, I'm sure there's a lot of us who've gone into that, oh, well, so-and-so's got an XYZ, so that means I should have one too. And there's that comparisonitis that creeps in a wee bit. Well, they've got an Apple 6, so I must have one too, because that's the cool thing to do. I mean, I wanted, and I upgraded my phone. You'd be very proud of me. I managed to trade my other one in and get a deal and do something else. So I think I only paid an extra $100 to upgrade. And I was so excited with myself about my planning around that. But I wanted it because I wanted to do video, and I didn't want to have to buy a video camera. I knew the video on that was really good. So I was like, tick 2 birds off with one stone, having that, that was just sorted for me. It was so exciting. But that comparisonitis and the really getting clear about why you are, why things are on your list. So when you get them, you actually will get to feel what you want to feel.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep, you get deep, and you don't get that kind of reactive, like I find with personal things, the reactive tends to be, I will go and like I was out and I saw this thing and I fell in love with it and I had to have it and I deserve it. With business, it tends to be I know I need more money. I'm not entirely happy because I'm embarrassed or things are less than perfect for me as an employee. If I think about myself as an employee in the business, oh, look at this great opportunity. The reason I'm not succeeding, I need to join this group and this group and this group. And it's kind of like it's not that long to join the groups. It's that people are just being reactive because they don't quite know what they know. They need something.
Yeah.
But they haven't really gotten into what is it that I really need. Once you know that, then you can look at everything else and go and evaluate it. Is it more important? Would that be better than the computer? And again, it's not about the numbers and the so often it is just about how would that feel to you, which is different than how it would be, your friend who's in business would make a completely different decision.
Yeah. You've just given us so much good little insights into the thought process behind spending. Mm-hmm. Today I got lots of great tips written down. How about you, Liz? What have you found?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I had different questions, but I didn't want to stop you talking. I've got like a page of notes here. So, I think that's the thing. And I think it was interesting actually on the same walk this morning, we were talking about comparison and comparing yourself with the Joneses. And my friend said, and we do have a choice as to which fence we look over. So yes, you can compare yourself with, the person that's got the latest and all the rest of it. But actually, if you want to come from a place of abundance, then look at what other people are dealing with, and compare how much you've got compared to them.
Yeah.
So but no, awesome, Sarah. Thank you. That was just I think there's a lot of people out there that need to see the replay.
Totally. I'm going to post for those of us post a link to Sarah's website down here. She has a little free ebook that you can download. 3 powerful yet simple steps to overcome money stress. Mm-hmm. Feel calm, energized around money. So I recommend everybody pop over and grab themselves a copy of that, because it sounds like a great follow on from what we've talked about today. And I'm sure she's got lots of little tips and check sheets and ideas in there for us to figure out what to do next. And if you want to work with Sarah, you can pop over there to her website, to that link. Mm-hmm. She's got her packages and money coaching options there for you, for anybody who feels that need. Rebecca says, thanks so much. She was too busy writing notes to ask questions, which is fantastic.
You're welcome, Rebecca.
Oh, thanks, Rebecca. That's fantastic. So, yeah, I was writing lots of notes too. Thank you so much for coming on today, Sarah. We're coming up
Thank you so much for having me.
So I'm going to start rounding out the end of our show now. We're going to pop across to our Facebook group a bit later on. So if you'd like to join us on our Facebook private group, you can come across. I'll post that again just once more for anybody who's new coming on. We'll be talking and having a little space there for you to ask quick questions of Sarah a bit later on. So this is Fiona Hall signing off for the Business Made Easy show. Next week, 10 a.m. NZ time, on the Business Made Easy show, we have Karen Newbold from Ginger Thinking. And Karen is a bit of a powerhouse around organisational knowledge of marketing and the event industry. And if you put on events and you want to figure out how to do it smartly, then listen in for some bit of ginger wisdom. Karen's got 25 years worth of experience in the event management area, and she helps businesses to create copy, promotions, and helps them design their events to enhance their brands. And I had a chat with her a couple of days ago now, and she had some fantastic ideas for one of my products. So I was really impressed with how quickly she comes to grasp with a business and a plan and what you're up to, and comes up with really innovative ideas and thinking. So if you are looking to put events on and want to figure out how to do that in a smart way, then I suggest you jump on next week at 10 a.m. NZ time. And I'm going to sign out. Thank you. Is there anything, parting word of wisdom you'd like to leave for the listeners today, Sarah?
No, I think I'm all talked out. Thank you very much.
Check in with your values and plan your spending. Be honest about what you need to run your business.
Be brave. Look at it.
Yeah. Liz, any parting words of wisdom?
Yeah, just absolutely. And I think the one thing that really stuck out for me is if you are having those teas and coffees and that is your thing, just to really be present and enjoy them. Yeah. Really go, yes, this is my hard-earned money, or, whatever, and really take the time to enjoy the purchases.
Exactly. Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, that's us for the end of today for May the 4th be with you. My Princess Leia heading. That's us signing off for another adventure today on the Business Made Easy show. We'll see you again next week. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.